Okay, we will start with our post-race press conference with the winning team. This Team Penske, number 12 Ford, and we are joined by the crew chief of the number 12, Jonathan Hassler, and Team Penske Vice Chairman Walt Czarnecki. Gentlemen, how would you start us off? Your feelings right now, locking into the Championship 4 and battling for a championship next weekend in Phoenix?
Yeah, it's it's incredibly exciting. To the way we did it, I think is a huge testament to the team. It seemed like we were obviously going to get in on points, but to obviously go and get the win is super exciting for us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great testimony, I think, to Jonathan, Ryan, of course, the way the car was prepared. They knew what they had to do. But I see that we've been building on the momentum of the last 3 or 4 weeks where our performance has really been good. Prior to even Talladega, we saw a positive performance with the car. Winning at Talladega certainly helped, and then coming into these last 3 races, good runs at the other 2 places put us in this position. But to come here and win is unbelievable. So congratulations to all of them. And that discount tire Menards Ford Mustang gets great fuel mileage too. So that's a positive.
Excellent. Okay, we'll open it up to questions. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll get your mic. Start here with Jeff, and then go to John.
Hey, Jonathan, what have you seen from Ryan as far as his mentality? This is a breakthrough moment for him after getting close, and to hang in there and then, run well at this time of year. What does that say about him?
I think everything for him, the next big step, if you will, in his career kind of started at Phoenix last year when Joey was able to win. I mean, if you look back to that race, we were in a good position to win. We had all the speed that we needed. And kind of rewind a couple weeks, we had mistakes at Vegas and Homestead that took us out of the championship 4. And, he realized that obviously you take those mistakes out and he's a champion. So he's got to clean up the mistakes. And he went to work, in the off season, just trying to make sure that he was as mentally focused and could mentally do last through the race. And he's done a great job. He's leaps and bounds, tons of progress this year.
Go to John.
John Newby, NBC Sports. So kind of following up on that, Jonathan, you told me on Thursday that instead of, spurts of anger, you want Ryan to be kind of a consistent level of fire. And apart from a few instances early in this race, it seemed like he achieved that. So I was just curious, what was your level of satisfaction with that progress?
I think he did an incredible job, like you said, kind of managing the situation. It's really difficult coming to this race in our shoes. Not a must-win scenario. By points, we're able to kind of get ourselves in, and the 24 really struggled all day. So we were able to kind of put ourselves in a really good points position, and he kind of, managed that and understood the big picture all day long. And like I said, he's made tons of progress, and I'm super proud of him.
Go here in the center. Just raise your hand.
Trey Lyle, FrenchStretch.com. How close was he actually on fuel? I know you said at one point you needed to save with he was 10 laps short. Well, clearly that didn't happen. But how close was he on fuel at the end? Yeah,
we were in a good position on fuel. I think it was the guys that kind of pitted that cycle before that were short. So maybe that was kind of miscommunicated. But no, we were in a good position. I think we could have maybe ran one green white checkered. I was certainly hoping we didn't get a caution, and happy we didn't.
Any more questions for Jonathan or Walt? Anything from the press box? We'll come back here to Deb.
Deb Williams, Auto Week, and this is for either you, Jonathan, or Walt. When you look at Blaney's record for this year and you see how, let's face it, when the playoffs started, there were a lot of people that didn't look at Ryan as making it to the championship 4. How did he change, or what did you see his change, or the team, or Ford's front end situation change that has brought us to this point?
Yeah, Deb, that's a great question because, of course, Ryan had early success winning the 600 and then got into a little bit of a bumpy patch. But where I personally saw the change in the momentum was at Texas, where it was a top 5 car, potentially a race-winning car. I think we were running 3rd at the time, and then we had a self-inflicted speeding penalty that set him back. But he rebounded from that and came back, and we saw the performance of the car, the performance of the crew. By the way, the crew was outstanding today. I told Jonathan earlier it was perfect. But that was the real turning point for me was Texas. We knew we had a good race team winning the 600, of course, but then in Texas, he has been on an upward trajectory ever since.
Jonathan, anything to add to that one?
No, I totally agree with Walt. And you know, we came out of the gate this year and we didn't have quite the speed that we had last year, and we knew we had to go to work. We were able to get the win at the 600, and from there, honestly, you know, we could experiment a little bit and try some different things through the year and figure out some things that worked and what didn't. And obviously, when the playoffs come around, you stick to the things that you figured out worked, and we've gotten a lot of momentum on this 12 car.
I think to Jonathan's point, Jonathan, if I may underscore something, that our mile-and-a-half program has been struggling for the first half, the first two-thirds of the year. But Jonathan and Travis and Michael and the whole team there have been working together with the drivers, and I think we saw a real turnaround, I think beginning at Kansas probably, with our performance, and then that carried to Texas where we had that great finish, and it's obviously carried to this point. So it's been a complete team effort supporting Ryan to get to this point. Mm-hmm.
Any final questions? Anything from the press box? Okay, Walt, Jonathan, congratulations, and we'll see you in Phoenix for the Championship 4.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we're going to continue to roll with our post-race press conferences here for today's Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway. We've now been joined by our race winner, Ryan Blaney, who punched his ticket into the Championship 4. Moving on to Phoenix next week. Ryan, congratulations on the win today. Congratulations on advancing into the Championship 4. Before we go to questions, take us through those last couple laps from the vantage point of your seat in the race car, but also just take us through this week and kind of getting to this point and knowing how important this race was to you and your team.
Yeah, the whole week was pretty standard practice, to be honest with you. Kind of riding momentum from Vegas and Homestead and knowing we run pretty decent here. So just hoping to build off things we know and things we've learned throughout the year. So just proud of the effort. Amazing car all weekend. Was able to work on it and even get it better and better. And the last handful of laps, you're just hoping for no yellow, right? I mean, you're through to the next round, and then you hope no late yellow to where it can really become a bad deal. So just want everything to end, but just proud of the effort. Amazing couple days, and hopefully another amazing couple days next week.
All right, we're now going to go to questions for Ryan. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll work to get a mic to you, and we'll start up front with Jeff Gluck.
Ryan, how much of a different driver are you now compared to last year?
I don't know. I think, last year, I talked about making a couple mistakes in this round, at Vegas and Miami, and it took us out. It kept us from getting to Phoenix. And, you just, all you can do is you try to learn from those, right? Try to be a smarter race car driver, try to understand the bigger picture. That's like the biggest thing. So at least that's the biggest thing I took away from it, right? Okay, everyone makes mistakes, but do you actually learn from your mistakes, or do you keep screwing up? And we learned from them, and we've been able to have a really, really good 9 weeks so far in the playoffs. Proud of everyone's effort on our group. But yeah, I feel like you just try to learn from your mistakes, think of a bigger picture, try to become a better race car driver, right? You're always getting better. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are, you're always trying to get better. And always trying to evolve your skill set and try to pick things that you don't do well to try to do better. And we had a lot of talks this offseason, Jonathan and I, kind of me internally with myself. It's like, okay, what are some things you don't like about how you approach the weekends? And let's work on them. Let's try to figure it out and make them better. And I think we've done that, and it's definitely showing.
All right, we'll go to Lee right here.
Lee Spencer, catchfence.com. Can you just talk about making the Championship 4 for the first time? I mean, it's what everybody works to achieve, that and a title. I mean, Chris Gabehart said making the Championship 4 under this format is the same as winning a title because it's just so damn hard to get there. Can you just talk about this accomplishment during this period in your career?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to do it. for sure. And you know, kind of, and even coming in like we did to the playoffs, like not having a lot of playoff points and stuff like that, and then just outperforming people, right? I mean, just doing a good job and executing really well, and that's all you can ask for. So, yeah, I mean, all you want is a shot at a championship, and you get your shot when the playoffs start if you make them. Okay, you have a shot. But then your real shot is, you know, you could get to Phoenix, right? So, yeah, it's just nice to have an opportunity to actually race for a championship. So, yeah, hopefully we can maximize the weekend. We'll just see. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fun. Oh.
All right, our next question will go to Shane in the middle there.
Not Shane.
Sorry, he's in the middle there. Shane, raise your hand.
Thank you. Shane Connick, Charlotte Observer. Ryan, congratulations on this win. When was it today when you kind of felt like you knew that you were going to cross the line and get the checkered flag? When was that moment where you could tell that you had it?
About lap 499. I figured we had a good shot at it. I mean, you never know. I mean, the last 20 laps, everything, all that goes through your head is there's going to be yellow, there's going to be yellow. It's going to screw up the whole race. People are going to stay out. People are going to take no tires. There's going to be 4 cautions to end this thing. Hopefully you don't get moved and spun and wreck and ruin your year. You know, so that's like the only thing that's going through your head, right? So just get to the white was like the only thing, you know, that really concerned me at the time. And, you know, running down the 10, I wasn't really running harder. You know, I think everyone just kind of fell off pretty good, and I saved my stuff early to where I could get through traffic pretty good, and it benefited us later in the run. So, yeah, just not till the white flag. You never know. You just stay focused, and it's, once you get to the white flag, you're usually pretty good. So.
And what was your immediate reaction as you realized that you did, in fact, win it once you realized all 500 laps were done?
Yeah, you know, a lot of different, you know, things to be proud of. You know, obviously getting to Phoenix, winning here. I've always wanted to win here, and I feel like we've lost a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them here. And you know, I grew up in High Point, just south of here. I grew up closer to here than I did Charlotte, and so I came here a lot as a kid, and I loved watching Dad race here. I wanted to grandfather the clock for a long time, ever since I was a kid. And so it's just like those little special things, right? You remember. And then driving for the Wood Brothers from Stewart, you know, just right down the road from here. So it's just like this place has just been so special to me, and it's just Victory Lane has eluded me for years and years, and I feel like we could have won 2 or 3 of them. It just never happened, and I feel like something always happened. But you know, everything fell into place today, and our car was fast, and we were able to pull it off. So yeah, a lot of joy and a lot of things to be proud of.
All right, we'll come back up front to Mark here, please, where we were before. Thanks, Mark.
Did not want to jump the line. Mark Garrow, PRN. Congratulations first, Ryan, on getting there to Phoenix the first time. That's pretty cool. How does it feel as a driver to come through in this kind of situation where it's pressure, it's no tomorrow, that kind of thing? How does it feel personally to have succeeded under these circumstances?
Yeah, it's, you know, there is a lot of pressure in these situations. You know, I mean, I feel like if someone tells you, oh, I don't feel pressure, they're lying to you, because this is your season. I mean, this is what you race for. There's a lot of men and women counting on your performance at the racetrack, you know, that work in the shops, that are on the team. So there is a lot of pressure. I think it's how you handle that pressure is important, right? Okay, how do you approach it? How do you accept it and go to work and not let it get to you? I think our group's done that very well. Of no matter what our situation, you've just done your job and done it to the best of your ability. And this group's job, when it's done to the best of their ability, can be winners and champions. And so hopefully we can continue to, you know, bring that mindset to the racetrack here for next week. And so yeah, just everyone is working super hard. Couldn't be prouder of the 12 boys. They're awesome, and it's cool to drive a fast race car.
Not to add any pressure, but all you have to do now is go back to back to win the championship. That's all.
And people go back to back all the time, so we'll see.
All right, we're going to go to Seth, and then we're going to make our way back up front. Go ahead, Seth.
Seth Egger, kickintires.net. Ryan, over the past 3 weeks, you've kind of found Jimmy Johnson's lucky horseshoe, so to speak. But aside from your luck, your performance has been strong. What has been the turning point for your team?
what's been lucky about it? I don't think anything's been lucky about it. The last 3 weeks we've been running amazing. We've run up towards the front in Vegas, led laps at Homestead, had a good shot to win, and we won today. I don't think there's any luck that it goes into this. Yeah, there may be lucky moments, but I don't think a horseshoe is really true at all. We've worked really hard to get to the point that we need to with speed, and our group's executed very good races, and they deserve to be here. So, I mean, yeah, luck, you can interpret luck how you want, but the performance side, you still have to bring fast race cars capable enough to win, and we've done that. So I think that is the biggest thing about our success is everyone's done a good job of figuring out how to get better and where to be better, and then applying it and having fast cars. So, yeah.
All right, we'll come up front to Dustin and then Jordan. Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Ryan, you've accomplished a lot of great things in your career. I'm curious in the sense of the time it took to get to this point, and I just wonder, how does an athlete not, I don't want to say failure, because like I said, you've done a lot of things, but not to reach the mountain, or it's taken this amount of time when maybe you've seen others go at a different rate. How do you not let that happen? How does that push you, or how do you handle that? Because obviously, look, you still got a lot of great years, and you've done a lot of great things, and maybe this is the start of 7 in a row, but the path to get here and how you didn't let it defeat you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some bumps in the road for sure. Maybe not being as dominant as you want to be, right? Or some of the other guys that around your age who kind of came in at the same time, right? You want to be the best of that crop, right? And we haven't, right? We haven't had the successes, as like a Larson, a Chase, those people. But I try not to let that get to me, right? I kind of try to let it. I mean, Chase and I are great friends, and it kind of motivates me. Like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy winning a championship. All these races. I want to be that guy, right? So I think it motivates me more than anything. And you're happy for your buddy, right? But it does motivate you to try to be a better driver, to try to be a better, driver on and off the racetrack, and be better at what you do. So I don't really let it get to me. I think it motivates me more than anything, just to try to work on the things that you think you can do better. And I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me out this year is you're picking it's hard to do. You're picking out your flaws. Like, you suck at this and this and this, and let's change things up to make it better. Sometimes that's hard to kind of admit, if you don't want to ever admit your flaws, but I think it's helpful for growth. So I think that's been something good that's kind of helped me out for this year. Hopefully that answers your question.
I'm curious, is there a way to describe what it has been like? I know there's still another step to take in this mountain, but to climb this mountain, do you feel like it's like breaking the glass ceiling in a sense of getting over doing this, and what this journey has been like to get to this point?
Well, it's definitely nice to get to Phoenix, right? I mean, that's something I think this is my 5th round of 8, and we haven't been there yet. I had 4 before this. I didn't get to Final 4. So it's nice to accomplish that. Okay. And now you have a chance to race for a championship. So, hopefully you just do your best next week. So yeah, it's always nice to kind of take the next step in your career. And I think this is a good next step for our group and me personally. So hopefully we can make the most of it. Yeah.
All right, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. From looking outward, it looked like there was a little bit of, I won't say edge to your driving tonight, but there were some moments you weren't afraid to really put the bumper to some people, right? And when you were racing Denny there, that stretch, you guys were kind of going at it. You didn't back down. Was there a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressiveness in your mindset tonight, but was there more of a, I'm not going to back down because the situation's too big?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you definitely don't want to back down, because the situation is large. Yeah, Denny and I raced the heck out of each other there for a little bit on the restart. I mean, it was good racing, crossing each other and stuff like that. And, we raced each other fine. But, yeah, I laid them up to some guys early, trying to get up from where we started. And that's kind of what you have to do here, honestly. It's hard to pass anybody here cleanly. maybe like 100 laps into the run you can pass. But no, we went in a mindset of we're gonna be aggressive tonight, and that's what me and Jonathan talked about. Me and my dad talked about. We're gonna be aggressive, and you have to be assertive, and that's how you establish yourself. So that was kind of our game plan. And I put the bumper to a few guys there in the first stage. I laid off of it later in the race when you finally got your track position. But yeah, you have to do it because they would do it to you. So.
And you mentioned no caution. Were you just thinking, how these races go here, this race? Were you thinking that there's going to be a caution, and then there's going to be another caution, and then another caution? We just kind of waiting for that the other shoe to drop, so to speak?
Yes. The last 40 laps, I'm like, all right, when's there going to be another caution? There's no way this thing's going to run 130 whatever laps green. It's going to be a caution. It's going to be a split bag on pitting. And then if we have a caution with 30 to go, there's going to be 5 more cautions like the end of the Xfinity race last night. And you never know what's going to happen, right? You can get dumped and spun. We've done all the right things tonight, and one caution could ruin it because you get jumbled and you can get punted and spun. And so that's the only thing going through my head. Kind of once we got the lead, I was like, all right, we probably have a decent shot here, but that caution's really going to screw everything up. So just hoping for no yellow, but that's... You never know what's going to happen, but you have to be ready for it. And don't know how it would have played out if we did get a yellow, but fortunately for us, there wasn't one.
All right, we're going to go upstairs to the press box. Go ahead, press box, with your questions.
Motorsport.com. Congrats, Ryan. I'm just curious, on paper at least, or from the outside, you seem to have a very similar season as last year's champion and your teammate Joey Logano, where you guys won earlier in the season, seemed to have some struggle finding speed, and then had some very timely wins in the playoffs before coming away with the championship at Phoenix. I was just wondering, do you see similarities in that this season for you guys, or do you think your path with your team has been sort of more unique?
No, that's nice you pointed out to me. Yeah, I think there are some similarities. I think the playoffs for us, for Joey last year and me this year, have been fairly similar, and just, peaking at a really good time. And that's kind of what that group did last year, and we're definitely doing that this year. So yeah, it's good to have the support from everybody. Our groups work really closely together. Me and the 22 and the 21 as well. We all work really close together, and I think that's been good to kind of get information from everybody. So it's been fun to work with Joey on that. Since he, was out of the playoffs early, kind of working with Joey through that stuff and picking his brain on a few things. So, yeah, it could be. Hopefully it's identical next week of what Joey's end of the season was last year.
And just a quick follow-up. I was just wondering, with what Joey did last year and what you have done so far in the playoffs this year, I don't know if it's the car or just the state of the series right now, but do you feel like it's too early or to ever count any driver or organization out when it comes down to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I don't think you can ever count anybody else out, any team out, especially with this car now. I've always related this sport to a big circle of performance, right? You have teams on top of the circle for a long time, doing well, and then they'll dip down. Other teams will find something, or what they're doing is not working, and and that's how you react to it and how you get back on top of it. And it's just a big circle, and you see that all the time. And it's about peaking at the right time, and our group is doing that. There's no secret this summer. We struggled. Our group struggled, and we just went to work. They didn't get down. Our group didn't pout around. They just understood where we needed to get better, and they got better. And that's the group you want to drive for, and that's why I'm excited to be at Team Penske and excited to be around those folks. So, yeah, just a lot of hard work by a lot of great men and women, and big testament. That's a team you want to be a part of, so lucky to be a part of it.
All right.
Joshua Weatherman with Short Track Report. What were your opinions on the new Goodyear tire compound used here today, and do you think it's a good step forward for short tracks?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell it. You laid some rubber down. The track got dark. It kind of got some clumps in it. I was surprised at that because the tire test I didn't think was it didn't really lay that rubber down, but it was hotter today. This was kind of best case scenario. You know, it was hot, you know, especially early in the race, 2/3 of the way through the race. And so that was good for it. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's good it laid some rubber down. I think there's some other things we still have to kind of weed through. I still like to see more fall off. But hopefully, I don't know. It's hard to say if it's in the right direction or not. Temperature's big from the spring.
And how do you balance being conservative and aggressive coming up through the field at the end there, knowing a playoff spot is on the line?
Yeah, I mean, it's just how every driver kind of approaches it a little bit differently. If when you go, when you save, how much you save, you know, tire-wise. You know, I kind of started doing that in stage 2 when I was behind the 11. I saved a good amount of tire behind him while able to keep pace with him because I know, you know, it's hard to kind of see the leaders get the lap traffic and kind of get stuck. And you need some tire to kind of be aggressive through them. So I just was like, all right, well, I'm just going to save tire. And if he pulls away from me a second, it's going to come back whenever he catches the tail end of the field. So I'm just going to save it. And it benefited for us there. So I kind of had the same game plan and then started stage 3 there when we made our last pit stop, just save tire and see how long it goes, and I think it's going to pay dividends on the back end if it did go green.
Ryan, Bruce Martin from Speed Sport for Sports Money. Have you heard from Mr. Penske yet, and what did he have to say if you have heard from him?
No, unfortunately, he wasn't here today. I haven't had my phone with me at all, so I'm sure I will hear from him very soon. Walt Czarnecki was here, Bud Danker was here, so that was Tim Cindric was here, so that was great to have those guys here. You know, even if RP couldn't come, so yeah, I'm excited to call RP on my drive home. That's going to be fun.
And about 45 miles to the west of here is Stewart, Virginia, home of the Wood Brothers. And they're the ones that gave you your first ride here in NASCAR Cup Series racing. And in a moment like this, I mean, do you think of Leonard? Do you think of Eddie? Do you think of Lenny? And the fact that they really helped give you your start and helped get you to the point where you're at today.
Oh, for sure. I think that makes this place even more special to me, you know, getting to drive for those guys for a couple years. I saw Leonard today. Leonard was on the grid today, and he was psyched to be here. He always gives me a speech and gives me a bro handshake, which is awesome. But I always like seeing Leonard, and you know, it's great to see him today. Great to see he's still doing really well. And I didn't see Eddie or Len, but yeah, it makes it even more special, you know, to get drive for those guys who are just from down the road, and this place means so much to them. And hearing stories about this place back in the day, you know, in the 40s and 50s when Leonard was testing stuff here with Glenn, it's just awesome stories, you know, and it's stuff that we really enjoy hearing, you know, as a driver, especially as a guy, you know, who's driving for them. It's just really, really cool. So yeah, it definitely means a lot more. And I'm sure Eddie and Len have texted me. I got to get back, but no, it was awesome to see Leonard today, and he said he believed we were going to win. So I guess he was right, which is common for him.
All right. Any final questions in the press box? All right. We'll come back downstairs for a few more. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Christian Coley, kickingthetires.net. Ryan, did you get a discussion after Talladega and your burnout?
Oh, no. I didn't. No, I didn't see Inman, unfortunately. So, no, I just didn't think it was, I don't know. That's a in-the-moment thing. Probably should have done one, but I'm happy I didn't. I don't know.
All right, we're going to go Deb.
Deb Williams, Auto Week. Congratulations, Ryan. When Jonathan and Hassler and Walt Czarnecki were in here earlier, they pointed to your performance at Texas, or that race, as the turnaround in the playoffs. Do you agree with them, and if so, why?
Yeah, I do look at Texas a little bit, maybe. You know, we weren't very good that weekend at all, and we stuck with it, and, you know, kind of got off sequence on pit strategy and was able to get track position and held it. And I think the fight that we had of holding our track position was good. It was a big turning point. It was a big confidence boost for everybody, and I sped at the end of the race and ruined it for us. But I thought, yeah, it was good. It was good for confidence for everybody, and kind of set us on the right track of like, hey, we're getting a little better, but we got to keep working. But yeah, I agree with them.
Charles, Rockstar News. One thing I noticed today is that your fan base is definitely increasing. I mean, you can just feel it. How does that feel?
Oh, I've been super fortunate. I've always had really good fans.
But it's picking up. Is it? Yeah,
Well, that's good. I don't get cussed at very often by fans, so that's good. And don't get shot the bird very often. So that one guy did earlier this year, but I gave it right back to him. But no, I've been really lucky. I don't know why. People ask me all the time, how do you get, fans, or how do you, if you were running for whatever, how do you get people to vote for you? I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of am who I am. And if you like it, that's fantastic. If you don't, whatever, I don't really care. So, I've been lucky to have a lot of great fans, a lot of, fans of my dad probably, they kind of watched our family growing up. But I've been lucky to have a lot of really, really cool people that support me, and I can't ask for more. Honestly, I think, they make you feel good. That's for sure on the weekend, right? If you're getting support by the grandstands, when I got out of the car on the front stretch, it was unreal how much, the fans were cheering and how much support it was. So that's something cool for us when you can see it, because we're so removed from that during the race, right? It's not like any other sporting event where you can hear the fans and you're playing off their energy. This is completely different. So it's good to see that stuff especially after you haven't seen anybody for 4 hours. It's nice to get out and see a bunch of people cheering for you and smiling faces.
All right, we're going to take one final question. Go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, Damian Sordelet with the Roanoke Times over here to your right. First, have you figured out where you're putting the clock?
I'll figure out a spot somewhere. I don't normally keep trophies in my house, but it's kind of too cool not to do.
Most broadcasts mention how Denny Hamlin is so good on the long run. He mentioned today you were the best long run car out there. What allowed you to have that, not only to be aggressive early and pick up spots, but have the pace there at the end where you're able to track down Almirola from like 10 seconds back and win?
Yeah. I think our car, what it did really good was, I've always been they call me a curb machine here. And I just run right against the curb all race. Inches from it all race. And it's like the opposite of running the wall. It's on your left side, it's a little curb. But to me, that's how I've always run this place. And you get under the rubber, everyone kind of fades up in the middle of the corner and it just cakes rubber down. I've always just gotten below it and just patient, just rolling around the curb as long as I can and just driving straight off. And you see people with wide exits spinning their tires, right? That hurts you later in the run. So I've always kind of asked my car just to roll like crazy, right? To where I can, maybe I don't get in super fast compared to guys, but once I get to the curb, I roll on the curb so fast, and I don't pick up the throttle till later. That allows me to come off low and straight, and that just saves tires, right? If you're straight driving off compared to kind of a angle off the corner, it just helps your tires. And so that's something I've just kind of always done here, and it was a big benefit in the old car, and it's starting to become a benefit in this car, and it benefited us tonight. So, just different kind of lanes. Things I've done for 3 or 4 years. Just it's good, and we were versatile. I passed a couple guys on the outside, getting above the rubber. So, but I've always preferred to run right against the curb, and our car was really good at doing that tonight.
All right, Ryan. Congratulations again on that win today. We wish you the best of luck next week. We'll see you on Thursday.